Mills Young here, MMA Locker Room, that is, part of Tony Picks. And we're about to be going over this week's UFC Fight Night card. And we're about to be going over the fights that's going to finish and go the distance. The new segment, we're going over and unders, round for round, to see which numbers we can get you guys the best profit on. So some of these fights I'm going to be going over, I'm going to let you guys know if I like the over 2.5, if I like the fight to go the distance, or else if I like it under 1.5, or if I like the fight to finish. Between these predictions and picks, you might get some little gems on which way I'm leaning on the fighter, that is, too. But if you guys want more exclusive one-on-one picks, this is what you need to do. Sign up right now at Tony Picks, man. You get my exclusive UFC fight pack pick. Not just that, man. We're killing everything in sports for you guys for 2025. So if you guys want to see exactly what I'm betting on, my round props, my parlays even, this is what you need to do. Sign up at the link below after the end of the show. Let's go ahead and get it started, man. 2025 is here, so let's go ahead and get you guys some money, man. First fight of the night, we got Nurullo Aliev taking on Joe Solecki. Nurullo Aliev is a minus 650 on the books. Come back on Solecki's plus 470. Solecki's taking this fight on short notice, okay? Aliev, he took some time off. About 2023 was his last time in the fight game. Tajikistan fighter. I really like this guy. He was trained by Khabib Nurmagomedov's dad before he passed. The over and under is at 2.5 at a minus 330. Folks, they think the fight goes the distance. I gotta lean that way too. Joe Solecki, grappler, jiu-jitsu type of style fighter. He is gonna be live in that first or second round. But if this goes past that second round, which I do see it going, I can see Nurullo Aliev winning in third round or by decision. I like the over 2.5 in this one. Second fight taking place. We got Fatima Kline taking on Victoriia Dudakova. Fatima Kline, big favorite, 750 on the books, the biggest favorite on the card. Plus 525 on the underdog. Both these girls are good. Fatima Kline, 6-1, former CFFC champion, and she fought in the Invicta promotion before she came here. She's 0-1 in the UFC, fighting Jasmine Jurdovic. She took that fight on short notice up a higher weight class. I think she gets it done in here, but I do think the line is way off in here. Let's talk about the over and under. They got the over and under set at 2.5 at a minus 280. They got the under at a plus 210. To be honest, I like the over in this one, man. Give me the over 2.5 in this Fatima Kline fight. I could see another one, third round or decision in this one, though. But give me the over in this one. I think that fight's definitely going the distance. Third fight on the card, we got Magomed Gadzhiyasulov. Minus 238 on the books. Opened up around that minus 180 price tag. Taking on Bruno Lopez, former LFA fighter, who had his shot in the Dana White Contender Series and didn't capitalize on his first time out. He lost to Claudius and Ribeiro. Magomed has a win over Claudius and Ribeiro. MMA math don't always add up. In this one, I think this is going to be a good fight. And I think actually the dog's a little bit liver than the price tag where it's at right now. If it was at that minus 185, minus 170, minus 190, I would still feel a little bit more comfortable. Minus 238. You know, I don't think it should be a minus 250 favorite or even a minus 3-1 favorite getting that high by the time the fight starts. The over and under, though, that's what we're here for. Let's talk about the numbers. They got the over 2.5 at a plus 114. They got the under 2.5 at a minus 145. The under has to go with Bruno Lopez because he has that finish ability. Because Magomed, he doesn't finish anything. He probably had a sandwich and didn't finish that for lunch. So in this one, the upside is going to be on Bruno Lopez if you guys are looking for this fight to finish. The under 2.5 is what you want to go with. Magomed, he can mix in the wrestlings and just hold him down too as well. I do think this one goes over the 2.5. So I will be looking at the over 2.5 at a plus 114. Nice little plus money price tag in there. All right, folks. Let's go ahead and get it started, man. Before we do, smash the like button for us over here at Tony Picks. We're doing a lot for you guys this year. All right, next fight taking place. We got Ernesta Kareckaite taking on Nicolle Caliari. Ernesta is a minus 258 favorite. Both these girls came from the Dana White Contender Series. Ernesta had one fight in the UFC against Deanne Barbosa in a fight that a lot of people thought that she won, but she lost. Caliari won her last fight on the Dana White Contender Series by pulling guard and winning by submission against a fighter that really shouldn't be in the cage and, you know, wasn't really that good of a fighter. The over 2.5 is set at a minus 260. The under 2.5 is at a plus 195. The finishing and upside so far would have to be on Caliari because she does have those submissions out there, jiu-jitsu in her back pocket. But Ernesta, she's the one that's going to kind of just go forward as the fight goes. I like the over 2.5 at a -260 in this one. I think the fight goes the distance. Next fight taking place. We got Preston Parsons taking on Jacobe Smith in this one. All right, Preston Parsons had a different opponent. Jacobe Smith's taking this fight now on short notice. Jacobe Smith's -550 now on the books. Opened up around a -310. This guy's as advertised, folks. Let's talk about the over and under for the numbers, round by round. Over 1.5 is at a -215. The under 1.5 is at a +165. The finishability from Jacobe Smith cannot be ignored. 9 wins, 7 wins by KO. He has that upside. But taking this fight on short notice, I still think he might be able to get it done, man. But he's also a wrestler that can grapple, and you know, if Preston Parsons wants to push that pace for him, he might just have to reverse him a couple of times and then knock him out in the later rounds, like second or third. With that being said, I'm gonna go with the over 1.5 at a -215 in this one. I do see Jacobe Smith maybe finishing him, you know, in the second round. So I will say that. Later second round though. Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky, man. But I do think that one goes over, but I don't think it goes the distance. There we go. Next fight taking place. Thiago Moises taking on Trey Ogden. Thiago Moises, UFC veteran, -170 on the books, +142 on Ogden. I think the dog is live in this one, folks. Trey Ogden's on a 3-fight win streak, puts together good game plans to beat his opponents. The over and unders by the numbers. Let's get to it. The over 2.5 is at a -290. The under 2.5 is at a +220. The upside, finishability, Thiago Moises. I mean, if he gets you down to the ground, his jiu-jitsu is top tier. He can submit anybody. And Trey Ogden, if he tries to implement that wrestling, he might just get submitted, right? But then again, I think Trey Ogden might keep it on the feet and pop the jab out there and extend this fight. Under 2.5 is at a +220. Looking at this fight, I really think it goes the distance though, folks. So I think this fight definitely goes the distance. And give me the over in this one. Next fight taking place, man. We got a lot of these fighters that's making their UFC debut from the Dana White Contender Series. And this is one. Marco Tulio Silva. All right, big favorite. -500 on the books, taking on Ihor Potieria. I mean, Ihor Potieria has about 5 fights in the UFC right now. I want to say it's like maybe 1-4 or 2 and something. I don't know, man. But he ain't that good. In this one, I like Marco Silva to get it done. He comes from the Shootbox gym out there with Charles Oliveira and other reputable fighters. They got the over 1.5 at a -130. They got the under 1.5 at a +100. Marco does take his time. I do think this can get a little bit over to that 7-minute mark, man. But then again, I can see I'm getting finished late second round as well. I like Marco Silva to win in this one. And then I would be taking the over 1.5 in this one, but fight not to go the distance. This one's not going the distance, folks. Next fight taking place. Jhonson taking on Felipe Burns. All right. This line is kind of not back and forth, but it's -180 for Jhonson, +150 Felipe Burns. But you got a lot of people in the betting community going back and forth. People was picking people was picking Felipe. They don't know who to pick. Let's talk about the numbers, the over and unders. Over 2.5 is at a -135. Under 2.5 is at a +105. Finishability, Jhonson. Tall, slim fighter for the division, 6 feet. -135 for the over 2.5. That's implementing that the fight goes the distance. I don't think this one goes the distance, man. Give me fight not go the distance in this one. And, yeah, man, I think this one definitely is not finishing. I mean, definitely not going the distance. Yeah, give me the under in that one. Next one taking place. Puno Seriano taking on Urso Medic. Urso Medic -215 on the book. 2-1 favorite, +180 on Puno. Over and unders, let's talk about the numbers. The over 1.5 is at a -175. The under 1.5 is at a +135. So in this one, the finishability is definitely going to be on both fighters. Both these fighters can finish, man. Shit. Under 1.5. All right, so I like fight not to go the distance in this one. I ain't going to get tricky. I ain't going to play the over 1.5. I ain't going to play under. I'm going to just play fight not go the distance in here. I think Urso Medic is going to be the more technical fighter. Puno Soriano stepping down now to welterweight, his second fight now. Usually it's a fighter that goes out there in that first round and puts it all out there, tries to knock you out. It seems like he slowed down a little bit in his last fight out. He can mix in the wrestling, get the takedowns. Urso Medic struggles with that. This dog could be live, folks. If you guys are looking for a dog, I think this is a live dog. I can't parlay Urso Medic at this one. Next fight taking place. Christian Rodriguez taking on Austin Bashi. Austin Bashi making his UFC debut, minus 270 on the books. The over and the under is at a minus 250 for the over 2.5. The under is plus 190 at, okay, under 2.5. I like the over in this one. Christian Bashi is a guy that likes to implement the wrestling, get the takedowns. And Christian Rodriguez is a guy that's tough, durable, you know, but he can be finished. And Austin Bashi does have submission skills. But give me the over in this one, okay? Yeah, I think this one definitely goes the distance. I like Austin Bashi a lot in that spot too, okay? I think Austin Bashi is going to be one of those kids that a lot of people is going to be watching in the UFC for a long time. Next fight taking place, we got Chris Curtis taking on Roman Kopylov. Roman Kopylov minus 245 on the books. Chris Curtis plus 200. You guys want a live underdog? Here's one. All right, man. The over 2.5 out of minus 220. The under 2.5 out of plus 160. I think this fight goes the distance. Both these guys are durable. Both these guys been tested. Both these guys been to the 15 minutes before. I like the fight to go the distance. It's a back and forth fight. I think the line is a little bit off. I opened up thinking Kopylov was the spot. But I think Chris Curtis is that live dog, man. He's fought people like Kopylov way before, you know, in other promotions and stuff. But then again, Kopylov can slow down, and right then Chris Curtis can just, you know, maybe do enough to keep it on the feet and keep it close and know what to do to win by the judges, you know. Give me Chris Curtis in this one, man. But I think it definitely goes the distance as well. Next fight taking place. This is one that point blank period. Get it now. It ain't going the distance. Cesar Almeida taking on Abdul Razak Rasan. Cesar Almeida is a minus 250 on the books, plus 200 for the dog. Man, that dog's live. Over 1.5 so out of minus 160. The under 1.5 is plus 130. This fight ain't going the distance, folks. Abdul Razak Hassan has so many first round finishes. And if he doesn't do that, sometimes he might be able to slow down and get finished later on in the fight. I'm playing fight, not going the distance. I'm not getting cute. I'm not getting, you know, sweet, trying to get like quick money on the over 1.5 or anything. I see this can still get to the second round or third round. But then again, I like Abdul Razak Hassan to go ahead and get the win. Next fight taking place. Santiago Ponzinibbio. Taking on Carson Harrison. Ponzinibbio minus 142 on the book, plus 120 for my boy Harris. The over 2.5 is going to be at a plus 114. The under is at a minus 145. Folks, I like the under. I don't think this one gets there. Both these guys are chinny. Both these guys been finished before multiple times in their losses. And Carson Harrison has that finishability on the feet and submission specialist as well. The anaconda choke is real. Ponzinibbio's been tested by the veteran fighters already in the UFC. This is a back and forth fight, man. It was a pick 'em when it opened up, and now, you know, Ponzinibbio's the favorite. I like the fight not to go to the distance. Main event time. If you guys want all my main picks and everything like that, you got to get my exclusive package. I'll put together the UFC package for you guys. Get the long-term package, or else get the picks individually, whichever one works for you. Because after this week, we got a big UFC pay-per-view event card coming out here, man. 2 championship fights and a lot of people fighting on there. I got interviews with fighters that's already fighting on that card out here in Los Angeles. So definitely, you guys want to definitely lock in right now at Tony Picks with us over here. Main event time. Mackenzie Dern taking on Amanda Ribas. Amanda Ribas minus 192 on the books. Plus 160 for Mackenzie Dern. The over 4.5 is at a minus 220. The under 4.5 is at a plus 170. So in this one, man, both these women already fought. And when they fought, Ribas won. I do lean the over in this one. Finishability, I can see from both fighters, though. Mackenzie Dern, she has that powerful left overhand. And then again, Amanda Ribas, she's been struck plenty of times and been on wobbly chicken legs. Then again, if it stays on the feet and it gets extended, she might just be piecing up Mackenzie Dern to where if Mackenzie Dern ain't able to get those takedowns at some point in the fight, she can't just stay out there and strike all day with Ribas, you know. Give me the over in this one, and let me know who you guys are betting on, man. I think the line is a little bit off, and I think Mackenzie Dern could go ahead and get her hand raised. You heard? All right, man. MMA Locker Room here, part of Tony Picks. Let me guys know exactly who you guys are betting on this week in the comments below. Hit the likes, hit the subscribe. If you guys want more content, you guys know where to check us out next week.